Now, another decent day for Harry Kane in the Bundesliga.
We can debate on the level of the Bundesliga and teams like Hoffenheim, but it's another hat-trick for him, albeit with 2 pens, but penalties are worth exactly the same than a normal goal.
100% record in Bundesliga with penalties.
I mean, I think Harry Kane is amazing anyway. At his age, to still being in his scoring form is the Bundesliga defensively a weak league, for sure. They just think about attacking and leave a lot of space, and Bayern are so good and so dominant. And when you play with, I mean, Nico Jackson played as a 10 behind him, not Gnabry, which was weird, and Nico Jackson was not good at all. But when you have Olise and Gnabry and Luis Diaz, if you're Harry Kane, it helps. But still, another outstanding performance from him, hat-trick. He's on something like 13 goals already this season, and we're only in September.
And it was only when he played in the European Championships when we thought, is this the end of Harry Kane?
Yeah.
Because he looked sluggish, didn't look as though he was fully fit, didn't play particularly well. But he seems to be back in top form.
Completely, absolutely. Robbo, you commentated on Barcelona Getafe yesterday for ESPN on Sunday night. What did you make of that win? Standard win, I would say. But more importantly, maybe Marcus Rashford was only on the bench because he got dropped for being late.
Yes, he was going to be picked, apparently. So he was going to be in the team. And Ferran Torres was going to be the player left out. He was late. And as is the case with Hansi Flick, if somebody's late for training or somebody's late for a meeting, they get dropped. Rafinha, it was the week before, Kunde twice last year. Marcus Rashford, I think at Manchester United had 1 or 2 issues with punctuality.
That's right.
But he came on as a sub in the second half and played quite well.
But when you had the performance that he had against Newcastle in the Champions League on Thursday, surely you want to kick on and continue and build on that, right?
Yes. So, but if the rules are the rules.
Yeah, but what I mean by that is leave your house early or your room earlier if it was for the team meeting at the hotel. But I don't know.
We were doing the game yesterday and we had Alexis Nunez as the presenter. Well, has she ever been early for anything else? So she was the wrong person to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ali Moreno was very adamant, if you're late, you're late. And I don't know what you're like. Here, when I come here, I'm always 15 20 minutes early, because that's what you do.
But I'm not blaming Flick for the decision. I'm blaming Rashford for not being smart enough in a way to think okay, I want to continue starting because when Lamine is back, he's going to sit back on the bench. And yet he just by himself ruled him out of starting this game against Getafe.
It's ridiculous. Jules, how did Pulisic and Milan get on the weekend?
Incredible performance, I felt, away at Udinese, the best under Allegri since he came back. They've won 3 in a row now without conceding a goal since that initial defeat against Cremonese on the first week of the season. Pulisic was outstanding. He looked so sharp, scored 2 goals. He'd been looking good earlier in the season as well. But this was outstanding. And I know Udinese are not Juventus or Napoli and things like that. But it was very good. Milan are second now, a point behind Juve. I think it's Napoli-Juve next weekend. And Rabiot was outstanding as well again for them. So all in all, very good afternoon for Milan on Saturday and especially for Pulisic. Tonight, on Monday night, as we record the show, Stu, is the Ballon d'Or ceremony. Who do you have winning it for the men and who do you have winning it for the women?
Well, I'm going to leave the women to you because you see more women's football than I do. But for the men, and I would say it's a biased view. Because, and the reason it's biased is because I saw Dembele probably live on 6 occasions last year in the Champions League. Lamine Yamal, I see every week. So I have seen all his goals, everything. So that's a biased view, but not because I'm biased.
For Lamine,
but I've seen more of him than I have Dembele. So I would say Lamine Yamal because of what I've seen and what he can do and how brilliant he's been and how he can change games. And for someone so young, and it's not just because he's young. He is absolutely outstanding. Whether he can keep his feet on the ground and remain, as Arsenal would say, humble, it is another thing. But I would say I would pick him because I've seen him more.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm biased, but for Dembele, I think the best player in the best team in the world deserves to win it, and he was incredible in this kind of year or season, if you want. So Dembele for the women, I think Aitana Bonmati is going for 3 in a row, which obviously never been done before, despite losing the Champions League final and the Euros final. I think Alessia Russo, who won those 2 finals against her, has a big chance. I would love to see Alessia Russo winning it. For her career, the profile that she has, the goal that she scores, I think it will be very good. So I'm hoping for Dembele, Russo kind of double.
What about no Classique on Sunday?
No Classique, Stu, because the weather forecast was terrible on Marseille.
I said it in a French accent, Classique, and you just went classic.
So it was postponed to Monday night. So from Sunday night to Monday night to avoid the heavy rain that fell on Marseille.
Another game and another goal with Real Madrid for Kylian Mbappe, Jules.
That's right, Stu. 5 in 5 now for him. Pretty good stuff. This is a really good goal, 25 yards out. Good strike. In a win for Real Madrid against Espanyol where they didn't play that great. Could have played much better football. But for him, certainly, and we've said that already with Gab earlier in the season on different shows, this very much feels like he's the leader of that team. 5 wins in 5 now for them in all competitions. He's scoring. The ball comes to him now.
Looks happy.
Yeah, automatically the ball comes to him. Whereas before, he used to go to Vinicius a lot on the left-hand side. Now he comes to him. There's still things to work on, obviously. Defensively, Huijsen was suspended for this game. Militao scored a great long-range shot. But there's probably still some work to be done with that back 5 defensively. With also the front 3 who plays on the right, Mastantuono, Rodrigo, what you do with Vinicius, who was not happy when he came off yesterday, halfway through the game, by the way. The midfield is solid. Gula, Valverde and Tchouaméni. What happens to Bellingham when he comes back fully fit? He's back now, but fully fit. We'll have to see. But at least they know they've got Mbappe who's firing, playing at his best. And I think that's probably the best news for Real Madrid.
Now, a player that I saw play for Spain as a 17-year-old, and he was the best player on the field in a 6-0 win against Ukraine, I think it was. Ansu Fati. Are we starting to see a bit of redemption for him?
I hope so, Stu. Because like you, I remember seeing him in the 2019-20 season where he broke through with Barcelona at 16, breaking all those records, looking amazing. And things have been very difficult since. He's at Monaco now. He's obviously still only 22. He's there on loan with an option to buy of 11 million euros. That has the price, the value now. He scored his first goal in 2 years in midweek in the Champions League against Bruges, where he came on. They were 4-0 down. He scored late. Okay, no problem. And then this weekend, they were struggling against Metz in Ligue 1, Monaco. He came on at halftime, scored 30 seconds after coming on, his first goal to make it 2-1. They were 1-1 when he came on to make it 2-1. Then Metz came back to 2-2. Then he scored to make it 3-2 and take his team towards the win. So the first time he scored 2 goals in like 3 years or something crazy like that. And he looks sharp.
Yeah.
Probably still doesn't look as amazing as when we remember seeing him when he was so young. But at least he looks more in place than what he did at Brighton, for example, where he really struggled under De Zerbi. And it's good. It's really good to see him like that, because he's such a talent. The talent is there. There's no doubt.
It was injuries that cost him. And now he's lost. He did lose his confidence. Yeah. He didn't quite have the same pace, but maybe that's coming back. Let's hope he's coming back.
Definitely. No, very good from him at Monaco.
Now, at the weekend, Juventus were frustrated by Verona on Saturday, and Igor Tudor was not happy with the draw.
No, not at all. Yeah, and Napoli, who played tonight on Monday night, Juventus are top of the table now with 10 points. Napoli, if they win, they will go 4-4, so go back to that first place. He was very frustrated and disappointed by the referee because they think they should have had a penalty, and the Verona who scored on a penalty was not the right call either. I think it's also a week where Juventus played in Europe, in the Champions League, and that
was quite an emotional game as well against Dortmund, to come back late on like they did.
It was crazy, and I think you see that they maybe struggle a little bit with that despite the changes that he made. So it's not a bad result really when you think about it. They were frustrated because I think they know that on another day they should have won that, and to be fit, that's fair. But I said earlier that it's Milan-Napoli at the weekend, not Juve-Napoli. So that's a good opportunity for Juve and Tudor to, obviously, if Milan and Napoli have a draw or something like that, it could be a good opportunity for Juventus. So it's still a good start of the season for them, to be fair. Blackburn-Ipswich in the Championship was abandoned after 80 minutes on Saturday to a waterlogged pitch because of the crazy rain. Did something like that ever happen to you when you were playing?
No, you spoke to me about it, and I looked back and I thought I'd never had a game abandoned.
Yeah, you can't remember.
The only time a game maybe could have got banned. Arsenal played at Manchester United in probably 86, and we won the game 1-0, and Charlie Nicholas scored the goal. But he toe poked it beyond the goal, and the ball got stuck in a puddle and just about rolled over the line. So if anybody ever wants to see that, it's 1986, Old Trafford. Arsenal won the game 1-0.
Was the pitch really bad?
And the pitch was bad. It was pouring rain. It had puddles on it
everywhere.
And it was just a slog, really.
Yeah.
And we got the better of Manchester United not very often at Old Trafford in those days, but we did, and won the game 1-0. But it was a game that probably now they would look at and think, should we have?
So Blackburn were 1-0 up in that game against Ipswich, which would be a big win for them. They started okay the season. So I think the rule says that you have to play the remaining of the game that had been kind of suspended. So they will find a day to play the last 10 minutes. It must be weird though as a player because you're going to warm up more than you actually play, right? Because your warm up usually lasts 25 minutes, probably 20, 25 minutes.
And Ipswich have got to go gung ho when that 10 minutes. Come on, we've got to get back into the game here.
And Ipswich will travel all the way back to Blackburn, so like literally southeast.
I mean, I didn't see what the pitch looked like.
It was.
Could you not have played for another 10 minutes?
It was bad, I promise you.
It's rare to say, but Dortmund managed to keep a lead this week.
Yes, well done to them. They play Wolfsburg on Sunday, and as we saw in the Champions League, we mentioned the game against Juventus. As we saw earlier in the Bundesliga as well, they tend to let leads go, especially late in games. They don't have any game management intelligence when it's about like closing the game out. So this time I was happily surprised. So good goal by Adeyemi, good long range shot. Never easy, as we often say, to play in a week where you had Champions League in midweek, especially so early in the season. So well done for them. They stay second.
Are they going to be the biggest challengers? Well, some sort of challenger to Bayern Munich this year.
Yeah. I think they'll finish second. They're the second best team.
Yeah,
but they will keep dropping points in silly ways, like we've just mentioned. And Bayern are far too good for them. But for now, they're second behind Bayern. They haven't lost. They just dropped 2 points, drawing one of the games. So they're there, but they even when you watch them play, it's still not at the level of Bayern.
But it's still a great place to go and watch football.
Oh,
if anybody wants to go to Europe to watch a game of football and they've never been to Dortmund, if you can get a ticket, go to Dortmund.
Yeah, no reception for your phone, so you can't call anybody or text anyone, but the atmosphere.
Oh, and by the way, you can't also, when you go there, you can't buy from any of the shops or the stores unless you have a Dortmund card.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I found out on the last time I went.
You had queued for an hour.
And then when I got there, they said, no, you need a Dortmund card. What? But some very nice chap paid
lovely.
for my drink and my sandwich, and I gave him the cash.
I love it. So. It's an experience, definitely, to go there. Atletico Madrid struggled again in La Liga this weekend, and Julian Alvarez was not happy. What happened?
Well, he's been taken off several times this season.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised. When I saw him at Man City, everyone said, "What they can't let him go. What a great player!" And he had a good World Cup.
Yeah, of course.
And I used to look at him play sometimes in the FA Cup games and in the Carabao Cup games. I think I don't see what everybody else.
You mean? Yeah, when he was starting.
I don't quite see him as the player that everybody else does.
And
I don't think he's a great loss to Man City. Then when he went to Atletico, he ran around and scored some very good goals, and we're talking about a world-class player. I don't see it, and when I see him play now, he's a good player. But he's not he's not an elite player. So I'm not surprised when he comes off. Sorloth gives them a different option when he comes on. Got himself sent off. But he gives them a totally different option. And he's a better player than people give him credit for, Sorloth. So, if he's got to put up with it.
So you could read on the lips of Alvarez, like, it's always me. It's always me that you take out.
It's only going to be him or Griezmann.
Yeah, I mean, Griezmann doesn't even start. I mean, the only game he started, to be fair, is the only one they won.
Yeah.
But I feel sad for. I mean, it's normal. When you get to Sunderland as a player, you went through it as well. You start obviously not being as good as you were in your peak years.
What do you mean?
Sorry,
my career just was cut short when I got injured.
That's very true.
Gone.
But the ones without injuries like you, naturally the level goes down. But when you've been that good like Griezmann, and when you clearly just don't really have the legs anymore to play at this level, you can still play, I'm sure, in maybe in MLS or somewhere, which he will go next year. But I think it's always quite sad.
It's sad,
sad.
One of the saddest things I saw was Luis Figo when he was.
I remember.
When he was one of the world's best players.
Yeah.
And then by the end of his career, he was almost playing at walking pace.
Yes.
Thinking,
he could not take on anybody anymore.
No, this isn't. Give up.
Yeah,
retire while you were at the top player.
Yeah.
Now, the Rome derby on Sunday, Jules, how did it go?
Yeah, as we always, you know he's going to be feisty. There was another 2 red cards for Lazio. Roma won away at Lazio. I know it's the same stadium, but technically away. At Lazio 1-0, Pellegrini scored, which was a good game, I think, in Gasperini's first Rome derby as well. You know, so for him, it was very important, I think, and with the fans, to almost validate a good start of the season with a win in the derby against the arch rivals. I thought Manu Kone was outstanding. And for me, he's really developing. I see him with France. I saw him before at Gladbach, but now in Italy, a better level than in the Bundesliga. I'm just loving the players he's becoming in midfield. He's outstanding, Stu. Promise with the ball. He's strong. He's really, his game intelligence, his football IQ is developing very quickly. And working with Gasperini will help him a lot. So big win and good win for Roma, who finished the game with 11 against 9.
Have you ever been to a Rome derby?
No, never. I would love to.
I've been to 2.
Have you?
Yeah. Commentated on one and went as a guest on another one.
Amazing.
It's an experience.
Yeah, I would love to.
Not so much inside the ground. Outside the ground is an experience. You have to be very careful.
Rome is a great city to start with.
Yes.
And if you can add that to your weekend and go to the derby, something to do, yeah?
Well, you like a nice weekend away with your wife. You can take her to the Rome derby. There we are. I'm sure she'd be pleased about that.
Delighted.
Yeah.